a novel by Hans Rosling. Rosling opens the novel with a theorem that chimpanzees could potentially be smarter than us when it comes to the affairs of the world today. He surveyed some of the world's most prominent figures about the state of the world today, and almost all of them got below a 10 or 15%, which is really bad judging by the fact that chimpanzees could get a 33% chance, even if they were just guessing randomly. Like, if you were to have thrown 3 bananas at them with A, B, and C written on them, they would have actually done a better job than the actual human beings that actually knew what they were answering. Why do people have such a negative worldview today? This question is the main premise behind Factfulness. Throughout the novel, he uses statistics and storytelling to support his thesis, which is that the world is a lot better than we really think it is. He had 3 overarching themes in the novel. Look beneath the surface of a statistic, the past doesn't determine the future, and old instincts still affect us today. Look beneath the surface. This uses the negativity instinct and the single perspective instinct to prove itself. With the negativity instinct, we always seem to think that poverty is really bad just because there's still people starving in the world, but it honestly has gotten a lot better in the last couple decades. People in Africa actually have more access to education and other things than they've had in the years past. And the lifespan on all levels, 1, 2, 3, and 4, has increased drastically. And for the single perspective instinct, all you really have to do is look at things from more than one angle. When there's a problem within a company, sometimes it's just one person's fault. It's almost always everybody's fault, just like in the government, the way how there's a system of checks and balances, and that keeps the government from making stupid decisions just because the president wants to do something that nobody else wants to do. The past doesn't determine the future. With the destiny instinct, it's paraphrased very well by this quote in the book on page 170 that says, "Cultures, nations, religions, and people are not like rocks. They are in constant transformation." Just because you were born into poverty doesn't mean you have to stay into poverty. And just because Africa's poor now doesn't mean it's not going to be rich later. With the straight line instinct, it's the same premise with where even though it's in a positive trend now, one day it might just even out or go lower. It doesn't have to keep on going up. Old instincts affect us today. This talks about evolution and the way how even though we've been very long evolved over needing to use our instincts to help us survive, they still affect us today. Like the fear instinct. In the past, fear helped us stop being bitten by snakes, but they're venomous and could have killed us. Today, we don't really need that sort of fear to keep us alive, like the way how some people are afraid of spiders needlessly, even if they're not toxic. But some people, level 1, do still need that instinct, so in some cases, it's still applicable. For the urgency instinct, we always want to react quickly because before we evolved into technology, we needed to react fast or we would have died. But today, it really isn't needed as much and it causes a lot of unneeded panic in the world. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk on Factfulness, a novel by Hans Rosling.